All right, guys, don't forget to like and retweet and everything. I need all of the helps I can get. I just want to double check to see if this is going to be working because this shit was bullshit. Close this shit out. It was already starting to. It was already fucked up. All right, cool.
Just like
So,
the Xbox was already fucked up when they released it, you know? Goddamn.
damn, that shit was hella fucking annoying. I don't know what it was. I don't know what's going on with it, but that I mean, unfortunately, it's one of those things where it's not working, and then there's the plan B. I can see why people just do Discord and shit like that. Honest to God, man, that shit's super annoying. But oh shit, can't even do that. Never mind. Okay, we got a guest here on Discord. Next Gen Tactics. Say hello to everyone.
Yo, what's going on, everybody?
Okay,
Glad to be here.
excellent, excellent. So we got two subjects to talk about. The first subject is let's take a look here. The first subject we're going to talk about is basically, do you really like PlayStation exclusives? And hey, no, Devil Shooter, you say I keep making this subject over and over again. What subject are you referring to? That's what I want to know. So, as I was kind of like, just thinking about shit in general, I decided to really look into different topics to talk about. Devil Shooter thinks that I've made this topic over and over again, right? Maybe he's talking about
I
the
don't think
PC games.
I don't think I've been following you for a while. You haven't made the topic over and over again, but you do talk about different exclusives, but you haven't talked about if people actually like them all in a whole, you know?
Right.
It's kind of
So,
a different question.
I'm glad that you can see that shit because Devil Shooter can't. Fuck. So, um, yeah, my question to a lot of the people here is like because I'm looking at a lot of exclusives that fell to the wayside, and I have the part one to this video, which I gotta trim this whole shit and make it a part two and all the bullshit. I'll do that shit later. But I ended up saying, do you really like PlayStation exclusives? That's the thing that I really want to know because apparently people people don't apparently like it. They don't like it. They pretend like they like it and they don't be buying the games. So
Well, it depends which one it was because most PlayStation exclusive have done pretty well in sales, you know. But it does depend on the kind of genre it is as well. Like I don't like every single like I do. I have played. Probably I played every single one, but till this day, like I own the second Horizon. I still haven't completed it because I did kind of felt like it was a copy and paste. I'm gonna go back and complete it. Yes, I am. But was I enjoying it the first time I was playing it? No, I kind of got bored. I'm not gonna lie.
now, why did you get
But
bored of the? Why did you get bored of the game?
I don't know what it was. It just felt exactly the same as the first one. You know, that's what it felt like.
You said
But
that.
the game
Okay.
looks as for what the game looks like, and the game is, it's great. You know, it looks wonderful. Graphics are great and everything and this and that. It was just the gameplay itself. It kind of felt a little bit copy and paste for me.
uh, So what was copy and paste? Are you talking about Forbidden West, correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What was
I'm just
copy
talking
and
about the
paste about it?
gameplay itself. You know, like go down and do this, or you got to kill this to upgrade this. You know, like going into tombs to upgrade yourself. It was exactly the same thing, dude. When you look at it,
I mean, but that's any game though. So what's your okay? So let me ask you this. So what's your favorite game in the last 10 years?
my favorite series, as in for games, would be the Uncharted series, and
Okay.
that does have the same thing. You know, it kind of has the same thing as well, and it's kind of hard to defend the point why I haven't finished Horizon Zero Dawn. You know, well, the new Horizon, the Forbidden West.
Okay.
I haven't finished it because I don't know. I'm gonna go. Like I said, I am gonna go back and finish it. I am. I'm like more than halfway done. I just stopped playing it. Like it kind of lost my interest in it.
What part? What part did you get into?
I think I got into like I think it was kind of like close to the desert part. It was like halfway through the map. I don't know. That's the thing. I wasn't really paying that much attention. That's why I have to go back and actually do it.
Where were you? Were you playing another game when you were playing this?
Oh man, that's what that got released when we were playing like 3 different games as well. That probably could have been part of it as well. As for like itself, I paid for it. I'm still gonna play it. Do I enjoy exclusives? Yeah, I enjoy exclusives. But I kind of hope that they don't do like the repeat and rinse. You know, most of them are pretty much different. I would say.
Okay, so you think that the games are kind of like the rinse and repeat, right?
I just think what they did with Horizon was kind of rinse and repeat. What they did with that,
So what did you
you know.
want? What did you want Horizon to actually do? That
I
to
don't know
make it
what I wanted to do,
to
but what it did,
make
what
it
it,
a. Well, no, but you saying it's a rinse and repeat, and I'm saying this. I'm going to defend the game, and I'm going to defend the game only due to the fact that it's a bit tiring. Um, to hear people say the same kind of rhetoric, because I have a friend that he has Horizon, or he played Platinum Horizon, the first one, and then he
yeah.
played Horizon Forbidden West, and he can't get into this one. Now, there's a lot of reasons as to why he claims that he can't get into this one. One of the biggest reasons is that it does not play like the first game.
I would say it kind of does. It kind of does. I don't know. It's hard to explain because
Well,
I'm
well,
probably in the same boat as him. I'm probably in the same boat as him. I played the first one. I platinumed it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. You know. And then the second one came around. I think I was expecting too much, and it was just. I think it's probably just as good as the first one, but it's not any better. You know. That's what I'm probably thinking.
and the funny thing is that this dude, my friend, his favorite game is Uncharted as well. So
Oh God.
there is a formula that Sony does, right? And this was a formula that they kind of followed, especially after the success of Uncharted, right? They started to do this. You campaign gameplay, quips, comedy, all that other shit that they have in that game, high octane action sequences, all of that good
Yeah,
shit,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then when they do something out of the norm, then you get this situation where, and I'm so fucking glad I actually spoke to you, because this really highlights a lot of the things that I
Well,
wanted to
I
say.
would say like no, no, it's not so much the comedy because you got to think about what about like Killzone, the exclusives for Killzone. You know,
A lot of
those
people
are great, dude.
that game did not do well. Just to let you know,
Yeah,
it only
yeah,
did
yeah.
well.
It is, dude.
It only did well to fill a space. You know what I'm saying? It was a graphic showpiece, and they needed something to show that the PlayStation was worth $600. But in terms of actual sales, it didn't do well. I think it did like 2 million, and it consistently did 2 million, and that was about it. And that's a rough estimate on there. So what I'm noticing about a lot of, and you know, what I'm noticing about a lot of PlayStation fans is that they usually kind of gravitate towards the famous. You know what I'm saying? They gravitate towards the famous. They gravitate towards big titles that's critically acclaimed. And I guess that makes a lot of
Yeah,
PlayStation fanboys feel better about themselves, about their purchases. It just makes the game feel a little bit better. Now, here's the thing. Here's a little side note, and I know that sounds so derogatory, but there's human nature in the element here, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
when PlayStation, uh, when PlayStation actually um, acquired Housemark. Now I
House
loved,
Marquee.
yeah, has Housemarque. Now I loved the what do you call it? The game. But when they purchased the
Which game you got to because they made Marquee and they also
Returnal,
made Ret- Returnal. Yeah,
yeah. So when before they purchased Housemarque, right? I liked Returnal, and I'm a
yeah.
little scatterbrained right now because some shit is going on, but I like the game. I liked it, right? And then, what's this alarm? Oh, it must be telling me to charge the battery. Stop. Okay. And then when the what do you call it? The when they purchased it, it felt better. It felt like the game was better to me. I don't know why. Like I know it sounds so fanboyish or whatever the case is,
Yeah.
but it was like you know what I mean. I just felt like wow. It just felt like it looked better. I feel like the graphics got upgraded. You know what I'm saying? Because they purchased it.
You already had the
It
finished
just
product, and they were just waiting for the numbers to see how people, before. All right, yeah, we'll buy them. They're waiting for the numbers, see how the game did and everything. The game was great. I completed that game, Returnal,
well,
and
it's not necessarily that, but just give me a moment here. Let me just ramble just a little bit. So all I'm saying is this, right? All I'm saying is when PlayStation fans get that confirmation that everyone likes it, the reviews. That's why everyone was like clamoring. Oh, watch when God of War comes out, everyone's gonna race to the reviews, and when it gets its reviews, you're gonna have nothing but PlayStation ponies running amok, running amok with these scores. You
galloping
know
in
what I'm saying?
their little corrals.
They're gonna it's going to make them go crazy. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. You know, on one side of the fence, they don't really care about reviews when it doesn't suit them. On the other side of the fence, they do care about reviews. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing that really is funny. Now, Horizon didn't quite get the 9.0 that everyone was expected. And I feel like because it didn't, it got abandoned by the PlayStation fans. It was just like, nah. It's kind of like when women, you know, don't really care about a guy until he has a girl. You ever had that happen to you?
Oh, hold on, say that again.
I said it's kind of like it's kind of like when a guy, right?
Yeah,
When a woman see a guy, she kind of curves him, right?
yeah,
Until another girl is fucking with him, and then she's like, I don't know, something about him just looks attractive. You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah. She wants to get into them now when she has competition.
right, and that's what I feel like is going on with the PlayStation and with the Horizon. It has its flaws, right? And I can go backwards and forward on the flaws. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's too many options with the cutscenes. Real flaws. It's too long in terms of the cutscenes. Too fucking long. Too long. It's too long.
I
I feel
say,
like
like, I felt a little bit of like, I don't know, it was probably too many games being released at the same time,
I believe that too.
and
I believe that too.
I don't know, I
Yeah.
just get into it.
I,
Probably right now when I wanted to get back into it now, but now we have what's coming up at the end of the month. It's
it's not God of War, is it?
no. It's Saints Row.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I'm saying. Because you know, I'm going to get into the crux of this bullshit. I know that there's more to it. There's more to it.
What's your actual favorite PlayStation exclusive
Currently,
or series from the
currently,
what is it? Yeah.
are you
Well,
asking?
what of all time that you would have all of them you played?
That is a loaded question, man. Fuck. Um, yo, don't forget to retweet this so more people can jump on this bitch. If I have to pick the best PlayStation exclusive of all time,
Yeah, that you would say like, fuck, man, I can play that shit like 10 times over, and I still wouldn't get bored of it.
that would be um, Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah, it's
That would be Shadow of the Colossus. It- so I will say this, right? It is. I'm gonna just retweet this here. So it is Shadow of the Colossus, right? But at the
yeah.
same time, I can't believe I'm so pissed off. Fuck Twitter, yo. Fuck it. Damn it. Anyway, that's just so annoying, man. Shit just didn't work for no reason at all. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I would say yes. In terms of that, I will definitely say that it's Shadow of the Colossus. It was one of the most innovative games that that anybody has ever really made. Honestly,
Yeah.
I mean, you just at that point in time, it's very hard to say that there's something out there that is that's better, really. In terms of, I mean, there's more innovative because nothing done that before. You know what I mean? So that is what I'm dealing with now when I'm looking at the best PlayStation exclusive of all time. But I feel like Sony has backed themselves in a corner here, right? And the reason why they backed themselves into a corner is because they were always known to have games that are very easy to get into, right? It's very easy to get into an Uncharted game or a Drive Club game. And it's like the other games that are really difficult, such as the Gran Turismos, you get the same fans that continuously play those particular games, or if they like, if they're car enthusiasts, that's not a part of the community, they will fuck with it. But I feel like Sony designed their platform to make these games very easy to get into. And the second they deviate from that shit, right, is the second that people start to dislike it. They don't like it. They don't like it. It's like it's always. Now, I will say with Horizon, I'll give you the flaws that I can pick up on, right? Melee is
Yeah.
wild. There's no. Melee is lacking. Well, I shouldn't say lacking. I'll give you the actual flaws of it. The melee issue in Horizon, right? Although it's rock paper scissors, you know what I'm saying? The biggest issue of the melee is that there's no lock on feature for that type of gameplay, and she's wild. Like it can't if your melee can't work in close quarters in open environments as well, then there's a problem. You need to kind of reel it in terms of like the animations and stuff like that. She just zips around and slides here, and you know what I mean. You can't control the character the way you need to, regardless of the animation frames. So that's a particular problem. They need to make sure that they tighten that up, right? The
Yeah.
actual range combat is fine. You're not getting better than that. But then you look at the world itself. The world is beautiful. It is just chef kiss, right? The problem with the world is that storyline, it's disjointed. It's absolutely disjointed. And that's a big fucking problem. That is a huge, huge problem. It's being disjointed is when I say they don't lead you into a direction that you should go for story purposes. So a game like Elden Ring encourages you to explore the environment, right? And they don't have a particular way of like lead you into it because you're supposed to be absorbing the story basically from the environmental cues and stuff like that, right? So that is one of the biggest things that they have going for it. Okay, cool. So I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Problem here is that this game has a linear story. It has a beginning. It has all like what is it? The four acts, right? It has the four acts, and that's the biggest problem with this game is that you have an open world game with the four acts, right? And then they try to do both. They try to be linear. And so like when you play Horizon for the second time, you realize that you're capped within that certain area. You can't go any further. And what I believe that they should have done is that they should have kept it in a linear fashion. You know what I'm saying? And just kind of
Yeah.
guided you through the environment, including the side quest. The side quest, although good, because every settlement you go to, they have their protagonist and antagonist, right? And their own little contained story and their own little life and everything like that. But it has nothing to do with the main narrative. You know what I'm saying? So like
Yeah.
there's very little reason for you to feel invested in the side quest because it's like there's an overall arcing story, but I can't. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to do with it. Um, it's not okay. So Immortal Black says this. I think Aloy's melee fits her world. I can't imagine double jumping besides her skill. I'm not saying that she needs to do all that, but tighten it up like a lock-on feature or something of that nature in a block. It's missing things, and so you can't. When they put her into the arena, she's wild all over the fucking place. You know what I'm saying? You can't control it. If it's in an open environment, she's very easy to control, you know what I mean, when it comes to that. And so, like, either have two different types of melee close and, like, kind of like Ghost of Tsushima has, like, the group melee, and then it has, like, the standoffs type shit. You know what I mean? They have, like, 3 different types of melee systems, you know? So, that's what, you still here?
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
listening.
Okay. So I'm just because I'm so afraid that this shit crashed somewhere. Like it's skeeving me out. So there's that. So the melee system is kind of like it's missing features, which makes it broken. In essence, you can still fuck with it, but it's broken because it's missing features that melee games have. They didn't want to commit to that. The side quests are in their own little world, and it's like they're oblivious to the main arcing storyline. You know what I'm saying? So there's a blight that's covering everything, and that blight should be the centerpiece of everything. When you look at the story again, there's a desert area that they're not affected by the blight at all. They have their own problems. There's a place all the way in the jungle, they're affected by the blight, so they say something, and that was fine. You know what I'm saying? But you get these side quests that doesn't have anything to do with the main game, which really fucks up the narrative to me. It really just doesn't jive. It doesn't gel well. A lot of issues also when people say that they're bored of it. The boredom comes from the amount of work that you have to do. To get
The amount of work.
Yeah, go on.
What do you mean by the amount of work? Like, what do you mean?
Horizon has a very competent system RPG wise. It's as good as most of them, right? You know,
Yeah.
they mentioned that there's Purge Water. Purge Water actually stops elemental attacks, which is the magic in the game, right? So you can look at fire, acid, you know, plasma, all that shit is the quintessential magic in the game. Okay, cool, right? And you use Purge Water to put that, so it's a big interconnected rock paper scissors type situation. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, but the melee system also has rock paper scissors. So like when you try to use melee on machines, you can't go off on the machines. You can only hit them fuckers twice, and then you leave yourself open to the point where the machines could just hit you. So like 1, 2, and then you get hit by them because they recognize that you're attacking them in this rock paper scissors. They want you to do ranged attacks, right? But they don't really explicitly tell you that that's going on. Also, when you slide and shoot, you cut down the time that you draw back your bow in half. So it behooves you to slide. You know what I'm saying? Just like when you jump, it goes into slow motion, and that helps you with the aiming. Sliding helps you to reload a lot quicker, which helps the gameplay move. But they don't explicitly tell you this. You know what I mean? There's a lot to look into it, right? Armor, right? Armor takes 80% of your damage that you can do on a machine. So if you're hitting armor plates, you would think that it's doing some damage, but it literally is only 20% of your full potential. So you're like, why these fucking machines are so spongy? You know what I'm saying? And these machines, and they're hyper aggressive. So the amount of shit that you have to do, it starts to feel like a chore. It starts to feel like work, and you're like, I don't feel like doing this. This shit is boring. Just like when you go to. I'm being honest, and I think the reason why it's not like that with the Souls games is because the execution portion of the game is simple. You can get into it simply. The melee system is not complex. Their range system is not complex. But your build is complex, and then you get eased into that. You'll eventually be like, okay. And then you have like a whole fucking online tutorial, you know, from all the other people that played the Souls games since 2009 onward. You know what I mean? Because the games relatively are similar. You talk about Horizon Zero Dawn being similar.
Yeah, I platinum every Souls and Dark Souls game, Elden Ring, all of them, and they are pretty similar. You can go magic build. You're pretty much gonna, you know, you're gonna just like fucking power your way through the game with no problem.
And that's the thing. You could like they have their own things, and then people get used to it. But the reason why people can play Elden Ring and mop the floor with Elden Ring is because the fundamental systems are very similar. like Horizon Zero Dawn to Horizon Forbidden West. But the extra stuff that they have, the extra elements, the extra, like when you slide, you reload a lot quicker. You know what I'm saying? The armor eats up 70 fucking percent, or I'm sorry, it eats up 80% of your damage that you can deal with the machine. So you have to hit it on those weak points. The arrows don't shoot as fast as the first game, right? She has more animation frames when you're doing everything basically. So the game is a little slower, more methodical. So you're thinking that the arrows should just almost immediately hit the target when it has travel time. So you have to lead your shots. You have to also scan the enemy to make sure that you're not wasting your magic in the game, right? The elements. Because there's some elements, right, that just doesn't affect that machine at all. You know what I'm saying? If you look at the scan, if you use your focus, you scan the machine, and if they have 2 downward arrows for that element, you don't know what that means, do you? You would think that, okay, the machine is very strong to that element. Do you know what the 2 downward arrows would mean in this game?
No.
It means that they're immune to that element. So they don't even tell you that shit. So you were sitting there lobbing ice on a machine that it's not going to ever affect them. You're thinking like it's going to build up, especially when you don't have the icons, right? To tell you that it's filling up or not. And you be thinking like, is there something wrong with my fucking machine or my weapons or whatever the case is? Then you have another issue. You know what I'm saying? It's so much shit to think about. I need to reload very quick. And here's the thing too. I'm gonna be quick on this. There's explosive. There's yeah. Go on.
So going through all these things that you need to do in this game for Horizon, is it actually worth it with the story they're giving you?
Yes. It is worth it. It is absolutely, yeah. It's absolutely worth it.
All right, I'm gonna.
The reason why
next
week.
The thing, I'm gonna give myself next week, starting on well, it's Sunday for me. I'm in Australia. Starting tomorrow, I'm gonna go back and start playing Horizon and try to complete it within the week, and see how good it is.
I want to tell you this. If you're going, let me say this: the damage type. They don't tell you this either, right? There's different damage type. There's the actual impact, right, which is just physical damage, and then there's actual ice damage, which has a slightly different, function. Like it does do ice, but it also damages a little bit too, and it has their own type of their own damage level. So it's like hidden. And then you also can shoot parts off, right? The parts just don't fall off and cause damage. The part basically takes when you take that piece off, it takes a huge piece of that health along with that piece. So it behooves you to rip that machine apart in terms of its weak spots. Not only are you hitting it and it weakens it's more damage, but when it finally falls off, it takes an additional amount of damage. So you can really mop the floor if you know what you're doing with the game. Also, there's the explosive damage, right? You would think that if I have like one of those slingshot grenade things, that it's the same explosive damage as me throwing the explosive spikes. They're not the same. If you use the grenades, a slingshot thing, it doesn't do anything to the armor platings. It just internally damages the machine. So if you're looking to take off the damage, you don't ever want to use that. You want to use the spike thrower. The spike thrower actually tears the armor and it tears the inner things. They don't tell you all this shit. The reason why am I telling you this? They don't tell you all of this shit. And so when you go in there, it seems like there's a mountain of hidden information that doesn't have the Souls community's backing. You know what I mean? When they released Demon Souls back in 2009, I believe, right? There were hardcore fans that liked that type of lore with dragons and magic and shit like that, and they went ham on that fucking game. They went over, and the findings they actually posted with the blood signs or whatever the case is, or they went online in forums and told you of their findings. So all of that information was gathered. So if you really need to find something, you can go into forums and they'll just basically tell you how to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's just you and your execution. Now going back to Souls does not require you to understand all of that shit in real time. You could take a step back, right? And be like, okay, cool, I need to do X, Y, and Z. This one looks like it's weak to this, or whatever the case is, or you could just look on the forum and say that this boss is weak to like the poor Bloodstarved Beast, right? I know you know what I'm talking about. I'm speaking your language right now. Bloodstarved Beast.
Yeah.
That shit is it's highly susceptible to fire, and this is the old tropes. Fire overrides poison. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. But you can kind of, if you already know RPGs, you already know that shit, right? So
Yeah.
if you didn't know that, you can go to a forum and be like, yo, make sure you indulge your weapon with fire, or just use the Molotovs, whatever the case is, to weaken it. There's none of that information on Horizon because there isn't a game like that. You know what I'm saying? And it has its own logic within the world. So when you play the
You
game,
probably got to give it time as well. Give it time as well for people can write up these strategy guides on how to do certain things as well. You know.
right, it does, but you got to give the game a shot. But then again, the Souls games got a shot. You know what I'm saying? So eventually, this type of gameplay. So my friend that likes Uncharted, his biggest issue, right? Actually, all the beasts in Bloodborne were weak to fire. I mean, I'm just making an example. You know what I'm saying? Because they're beasts. That type of blood type or that type of enemy type is weak to fire. They're fleshy. You know what I'm saying? Where you play Demon Souls, there are actual enemies, right? That are weak to piercing abilities. You know what I'm saying? So they'll get, or certain weapons will do that. So if you want to look at it like that. So the execution for the Souls games, like the different blunt force, piercing, slash, or whatever the case is, you can look up a strategy guide and find out, like, oh, okay, now I know, you know what I'm saying? It has enough time that people actually look into it. Fine. But the execution is never that daunting for where it's like a mountain of information that you need to know right now. You know what I'm saying? Even if you didn't look in the forums. You know what I'm saying? So the game Horizon is extremely aggressive and the game is beautiful, right? Psychologically, you would think that that place is a paradise and it doesn't play like a paradise. You know what I'm saying? It's brutal, but it also looks beautiful. So
Yeah.
your mind is like, you're kind of relaxed, and then something crazy happens that takes you out of that relaxation mode because of the environment. When you play the Souls games, it looks foreboding, it looks dark. You kind of get put into the mood of something's about to happen all the time. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of psychological things that happens when you play games, which, because I couldn't for the life of me understand why people were saying, you know what I'm saying, that the game was boring. And it's like the game was released with Elden Ring was coming out. So if you tried to play Tactics, if you tried to play this game along with Elden Ring was going to beat it out because you were more comfortable with it, and
Yeah.
you didn't have the patience, right, to learn a whole brand new fucking system. It's just too much, and no one would. It's not just you. No one wants to deal with that shit. It's like I don't feel like learning a whole fucking game. It's like people that complain about Gran Turismo. I want Drive Club, not Gran Turismo, right? Gran Turismo looks like a pretty game, right? But it's a very technical game. So you can't drive it like an arcade game. And a lot of people drop Gran Turismo that call themselves fanboys. They were playing it. Oh, it looks good. Look at this. You're never going to find a racing game that looks this good, right? And then they didn't even fucking play it. You know what I'm saying? Because the game is too hard. You can't whip around the fucking corners and have no fucking consequence. You gotta kind of know what you're doing. And I had to look it up too. I was like, how do you fucking really drive at high speeds? I don't fucking know how to drive at high speeds. I don't fucking do it really, and I don't want to fuck my car up. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta learn these things, and then once you understand the nature of things, then you kind of be like, okay, now I understand the game is clicking with me. You know what I'm saying? So you got that going on. So let me see here. What do you gotta say about everything that I said? Am I right, wrong, indifferent? How you feel?
No, it's not about. It's just your opinion on things. You know.
So what do you have to
You
say
can't
about
really
it?
knock. It's not bad. You know. I understand some people would find other games more difficult and that they won't put the time into them. You know. That's totally
I'm not
understandable.
saying it's. I'm not saying it's a horrible thing. To say that the game is boring. It's just like sometimes I like to have like a lot of explanation. You know. Um,
Yeah.
it's just me being inquisitive. Um, so let me see here. Uh, so that's how I feel about That's how I feel like when it comes to this game, right? I'm like, wow, the game throws a lot at you. When you play a Souls game, it's enough for where you could just kind of listen to it. I mean, not listen to it, but just kind of ease your way into it. Not having like four fucking otters, a fucking saber-toothed tiger, and a fucking deer ramming you up the ass as soon as I walk out the door. You know what I'm saying? That's how that's how Eisen is. It's like you don't have time. Now, I feel like they didn't tie in the side quests to the world. And the side quests, although the how can I put it? When it comes to the side quest, the vibe is completely different from the main quest. You know what I'm saying? And then Aloy herself isn't the most interesting character. She's not boring, but she's unrelatable. She's smarter than everybody there. She's very fucking strong. Huh?
That's my little girl.
What were you saying again?
Sorry, no, that was my little girl. Turned on her tablet and she goes, "Daddy, it's working."
But that's how I feel like she's not a bad person. She's just very pretentious. It's very hard to kind of like attach
I
to
don't know.
her.
To me, she feels like she doesn't have a sense of humor. You know?
She doesn't. She doesn't. Everything feels forced with her. She doesn't want to laugh. I get it, you know. I get why. You know what I'm saying? Like I totally understand why
Yeah.
she would do it. If you found out that you were the key to fixing the world and your predecessor did so much to fix it and you have to live up to it, now you figured it. That's a hard pill to swallow. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you really ain't
Yeah.
gonna try to have fun because you're trying to live up to something that you just can't. You know what I'm saying? You know, but it's she don't have a love interest. What I think they should do in the third game, because there's going to be a third one. I feel like for Aloy, she needs to. There are personality traits for Aloy that they need to really just blow out of the water. She is an emotional character, and she gets angry very fucking quick, and she flies. She needs to
Yeah.
make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? She needs to be wrong sometimes. You know, to make it to give you that human connection. Like, damn, she really fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, that way people can relate to her. And then lastly, when it comes to Uncharted versus Horizon, right? Uncharted always rewards you with a crazy ass set piece or some comedy or something when you do the gameplay element to break up the loop. It's like,
Yeah.
I implore you when you play, because you don't have that in Horizon. I implore you when you do play it, what difficulty were you playing it in?
I played all of them. First, it was like normal, then hard, and then I did them all on crushing, then brutal.
What about Horizon? What did you play it on?
I started that. I always start them on normal just to enjoy them, you know.
Okay,
And then after, I'll challenge myself after.
so I can guarantee you, right? When you do decide to play Horizon, make sure that's the only game that you're playing.
Yeah.
Horizon is one of those games where the buildup of the atmosphere finally catches you, and you're like, "Oh, I get it." You know what I'm saying? And then on top of it, if you're having trouble with the shooting, it's not that you're inaccurate. Just learn how the bullets or bullets the arrows function.
There was-
Yeah. So if you don't know it and you're thinking that you're just going to jump into battle and it plays like the first game, the arrows don't even function the same way that the first game did. When you shot an arrow, it immediately got to its target, basically. This one, you have to lead your shots because they're slow. You know? So that's one of the things that you would need to do in this game to kind of learn how to shoot in a game. Now I'm gonna read some comments here. My current PC really isn't next gen ready, but I'm turning it into an emulation monster. I think Aloy Melee fits the world. I think I read that earlier. I can't imagine double jumping. Besides, her skills fits perfectly within her world. He also says here what needs improvement overall to be a complete package. I think they need to put the story together and make sure all of the story is tied to the first game. I'm sorry, tied to the main story, so it can give you some incentive to actually try to do the side quest. Like allow the side quest to give you nuggets on the main mission. You know, that's what I feel like. Um, hey, all power to you, honestly. But the PC community, like honestly, double shooter, I just had a hell of a fucking time with this shit not working. There's too many elements with a PC that could just fuck up, and I don't have the time for it, man. I literally wasted. I have two fucking videos. You know what I'm saying? A part one and two. I don't like doing that shit. That pisses me off. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not happy about that. Um, Werewolves. Okay, it's more of a lore thing, but yeah. Okay, so you say the first mini boss at the beginning of Elden Ring. Okay, so anyway, that being said, the thing that I want to say is that there are a lot of people that just claim that they like PlayStation exclusives, and they kind of let me just take a look here. Let me see here. I don't feel like.
That's the thing. They claim that they like them, but not everybody's gonna like every PlayStation exclusive. It's just you're not gonna like. Oh, it just has Sony's brand on it. I love it. You know, it's just impossible.
And I'm not
Like
saying that
there's
either. I'm not saying that either. You know what I mean? But here's the thing, though. It's always the same type of game when a PlayStation fanboy comes out and say that they like PlayStation. It's always the same game over and over again. It's a highly cinematic experience that's not that difficult. It's easy to get into. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make it fucking difficult for you to get a challenge. And I feel like that's, I got on day one. It's running real slow. Scared the hell out of me on one day. Yeah. So that's the thing that I'm not really feeling about a lot of the PlayStation community. And then they get pissed off with with games going to PC. I mean, you're not fucking buying it. So what do you
I'm
want
not
them to
mad
do?
about that. I told you about that. Like, if it's gonna make the company more a bit of a profit at the end to keep them going even longer, why not? You know, at the end of it, it all comes down to money. That's why they're doing it. You know, they're not doing it for fucking smiles.
Okay. So
The only downside that once something goes to PC, well, look what happened with Spider-Man. Spider-Man was cracked within like about a day before it got released on PC.
well, that's why they're saying that you should log in on the PlayStation. I mean, log in on PSN to make sure.
Yeah, well, no, I'm talking about like when Spider-Man was going to PC. It just went on PC what a couple yesterday or a couple days ago or whatever it was. But the day or 2 days before it went live on PC, people already had cracked a version of it to be able to play it for free, and they were just passing it around. That's what the thing you face on PC, that a lot of stuff just gets broken and cracked over there, that you're not gonna make that much off of it, you know, unless it's tied to like Steam or so. I don't even know that. No, because you can still do it off of that. There's other websites that give you good crack games.
So I
So
mean, I will say this: them putting games on PC is creating a catalog for you to never have to worry about it getting going out of style. You know what I'm saying? Or not being
not so
supported.
much
Not
going
not
out of
being. Not, I mean
style.
I mean not being supported anymore, like by
Yeah,
hardware itself.
kind of. Yeah, that's the support. Like people say, like, yeah, shit, I'm gonna play it on PC, fucking, 4K, whatever it is, or whatever they wanted. You know, I got a rig that could support it. But yet, when it comes down for them paying for the game, oh shit, man, hey, Bob, you got that cracked version of that Spider-Man? You know, I'm paying for that shit. You know, I
Well,
already put too much money on my PC to.
I don't even want to say that. This is what I want to say, right? Here's the thing, right? You know how games are not supported anymore, your console breaks, you know what I'm saying, and you can't get that game anymore? By putting shit on PC, you'll always have some sort of copy of it, you know what I'm saying, without having to worry
Yeah,
about. That's what I mean. And so in the long run, once the games, because you know what I would like to play? I would love to play the fucking Getaway from the PlayStation 2
which one?
era, the PlayStation 2 era, the Getaway. I would love to play
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, I remember that.
You know what I'm saying? But there's no emulator, or they did not put it on PlayStation Store. It's just very fucking frustrating because I want to
You know
play
what I
games
want to
like that.
play back from PlayStation One? Armor
What?
Core.
Man,
They don't
don't
have
do
that
that.
anymore.
Don't do that, man. See, that just pisses me
That
off
game
every
is.
time. Every time, man. Do you know there was a game a long time ago? There was a game that it was called Treasures of the Deep. It
Yeah,
was
I
a
think I heard of
it
it.
was a scuba diving game from fucking yesteryear, like in the 90s. In the fucking
Yeah.
90s, you know, it was beautiful. It's a beautiful fucking game. I absolutely loved it, and it worked. It worked just fine. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, it's frustrating that we don't, you know, if it was on PC, guess what? It would have been a copy somewhere. You know what I mean? Somewhere it would have been a
Yeah.
copy. So that's my thing. Um,
So what do you feel about games going to exclusive PlayStation games going to PC? Do you think it's a good thing, or
um,
you know?
I don't feel like. See, this is what I'm saying. The average person is not going to put up with the shit that I just dealt with today. You'll hear a whole bunch of PC gamers talk about they don't have any fucking problem, right? They have no fucking problem with this shit, right? No problem. It always works. They turn it on. They have all these little cheats and tips and tricks. And make sure you leave your computer on and let it do its updating and shit like that. I have no idea why this shit didn't work. I do the
Yeah.
same thing over and over and over again because there's so many elements within a game, things becoming outdated, you know, like drivers becoming outdated or whatever the case is, programs that need the updated thing, Windows having like a billion updates a week, and then that may be wrong. They're sending patches of their updates, you know what I'm saying? And it's just not a stable platform. You know what I mean? I would say the PC gaming is almost like a hobbyist type, you know, thing. That's my thing. I don't mind it. Here's what's happening. Sony has conditioned a lot of PlayStation people to feel like, oh, as long as they don't put it day and date, I'm fine with it. Which the more I fucking look at this shit, the more I'm starting to realize that it could be a possibility. Probably not all of them. So people need to understand. I keep saying this, and this is why Devil Shooter. I need to keep doing it. Just like Red Pill content, you know what I mean? Manosphere shit, and they keep showing the same thing over and over and over again. Like we all know what the situation is out there. I get it, right? But I feel like people need to fucking understand the purpose of a console. You feel me? What is the purpose of a console? That's the issue. The issue is a very easy to get into, it's a very stable platform. It doesn't cost that much money initially. The barrier, the price barrier is very low. You know what I'm saying? You get a lot of bang for your fucking buck, and that's basically what it is. You don't expect graphics to be fucking blowing you out of your fucking. Well, you do, but you don't expect fucking 8K and all this other shit. You expect the developer to do the best that they can do with the hardware that they have, you know, and they usually are able to do very nice things, very very nice things. You admit, yes, I'm okay, I'm good. Do it 1,000 times over. You good? Uh, that's what I'm saying. But like, that's the thing. I just that's all I want. That's all I want. So um, the thing is, that's my thing. So you say that you don't care about games going
It's
to
not that I don't
PC.
care. I do. I don't mind that they are going to a different platform, be it PC, be it Nintendo, be it Xbox. I just want people to actually support it where they're paying for it. When you're sending it to a platform where people could just crack the software and pass it out to their friends or put it on a website where everybody could just download it and not actually support it, that's not doing any good to anybody. They're just hurting the brands.
Well, also releasing games on the fucking PC with a whole bunch of rabid fanboys that don't buy shit is also hurting it.
Yeah. As
That's the
for, they just gotta, I don't know. It's really hard to fucking stop them from cracking shit, but
no. I mean, like, if the cracking shit is fine, that's an argument in itself. But you want
yeah,
to know what also is a problem is the amount of fanboys. Let's just say they're about 10 to 20 million hardcore fanboys, and they're only picking the best of the best of the best of the best of the best, and leaving everything behind. That's a problem.
yeah,
That's as good as your game getting leaked Not leaked. I'm sorry, getting cracked and stolen because they put all this money in there, hoping that PlayStation fanboys like their content and nothing happens. You know, this dude is too caught
Yeah.
up on pirating. That's really a non-issue. And then on top of it, yeah, I don't think Sony. I think Sony made a calculated risk, and they have contingencies to make sure that um you gotta make sure that everything's that well, let me put it this way. You gotta make sure that what the fuck? Get out of here. Sorry about this. So you gotta make sure when you do this, um,
Yeah.
they have the PSN that they want you to log into. Sorry about that. I was just reading something. They have PSN where you can log in, and then there's that. So that's how I feel about it. You know what I mean? You know, it's really a situation where I don't think that piracy is that big of a deal. Eventually, they're gonna find a way for you to have to log on or create a PSN account for them to track what's happening. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I believe that they're going to do
Yeah.
eventually. I don't think that's going to be a big issue. You know what I mean? I think the biggest issue is PlayStation so-called fanboys not buying the games or even trying them to fuck out, which is why Sony is actually coming up with this PlayStation Premium. Which, on the side note, they got to do better than that shit. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. I don't know what they're doing because it's like it's not just game trials, man. They gotta, you know what I mean, all these obscure games that no one is using. Get one of these fucking Nixies or whatever the developers to fucking start like making like taking the games that you've already made on PS1 and 2 and 3, just focus on those things. The Sony games, and just have Nixies recompile them bitches and put that shit on a PS5 at 4K. I'm not asking for a lot.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
You literally have all these games. You know, so that's the thing that's the problem that I have. So there's that.
Well, it's completely over here in Australia. It's completely different the way your PlayStation Plus. You know, what is it? Premium?
Yeah, PlayStation Premium.
Yeah, and like I'm from the U.S., but I moved to Australia like 15 years ago. And
I hear both accents.
Yeah, over here it's not PlayStation Plus Premium; it's PlayStation Plus Deluxe. They don't even have the PlayStation 3 category of games. It's just randomized like PS2 and PS1 games. Completely different.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And over here it's $154 Australian.
What is that?
It's way more.
But don't you guys get like isn't it your pay rate like large, like higher than ours?
Yeah, it is. It's like minimum wage over here is like $22 an hour.
So that's what I'm saying. Like everyone says, I'm not saying. I'm not saying that
154 Australian is 109 American.
Say it again.
154 Australian is 109 American.
So what's all this big hubbub about people talking about some? Oh, you know, we don't have what do you call it? What the fuck is it? We don't have well, the games are too high when you guys get paid more than we do.
Over here, PS5 game costs $125, dude. Australian.
I know, but you guys get paid more than we do, on average.
Yeah, but when you do the conversion, it's what's minimum wage in the U.S. right now on average?
15. Actually,
15?
no. Excuse me, 10.
Yeah, it's over here. It's $5 more.
That's how minimum wage is about $10 an hour over in the U.S.
Yeah, yeah. In Australia, it's 22 Australian, which comes down when you convert it down, it's 15.75.
Hmm. But then if that's the case, then the most that you guys are paying, if you look at it, you're saying it's $5, but that's a cumulative. You know, I guess it will be like $10 more conversion wise.
What's a PS5 game in the US? $70.
70.
70.
Yeah, you say it's 100 and what?
125 Australian to USD. So yeah, no, we're paying an extra $20, dude. $89 American. That's how much we're paying.
Okay.
So they got to work an extra. No, it'll be the same thing. It would be the same thing. Same amount of hours worked. Just comes out to more.
So
But yeah, no, that's the difference. Over here, like they kind of take like it's kind of like the UK. Over here, anything electronic or a gadget or something and this and that that's electronic gaming system, they're all considered luxuries, you know.
oh, so there's some sort of
So
extra tax there.
yeah, they fall a bit more on the expensive side because they're not considered a necessity.
Hmm. So, all right. So that being said, I think we pretty much kind of covered both of these topics. I know I kind of went off 30 minutes on the exclusives. I think I got everything that I wanted to say. I got a couple questions for you. That's not here or there. I am absolutely devastated on what I did earlier. It just pisses me off the fact that um, Twitter crashed the way that it did. So my question to
Yeah.
you is: I usually take the spaces and I put it on YouTube.
I'll go right ahead, dude.
No, I'm just saying this, but that's what I normally do. But since the spaces crashed, that's why you have to go into Discord and do it that way. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
this is just a person. You seem fairly intelligent, right? Or not fairly. You seem intelligent. My question here is: do you think it's more? And this is go for the chat too. Do you think it's lucrative? Um, to do it on what do you call it? To just do YouTube and not worry about the Twitter.
Well, it's always best to get your name across more platforms as you can to get noticed. If you're looking to somewhat make a small either a career or whatever you want this to go, you know.
Because
It's up to you.
I'm usually like streaming both, right? But it just seems so fucking unreliable on Twitter.
If it's something that's other people are not having an issue and you're having an issue, it's probably some sort of software issue or something that you're having with either your PC or something. I'm not sure
I usually
what's
don't
going
have
on.
I usually don't have that issue at all. It's something. It's
Mm,
always something, but it's like this is the first time that I actually had the issue where I was just like, "Oh fuck," you know.
yeah,
So
I think it's just been a random little fucking bug and shit, you know. Once you shut everything down and you turn it on tomorrow, it'll probably be gone.
I already did that. That's why it took me so long.
Yeah.
You
But for
know.
me, I see it like when you want to do something, you got to put your name out there, and the best place to do it is you got to do it in multiple places, you know, where people will come across it,
Hmm.
or at least if one of your friends tweets something, and then somebody else finds it interesting. That's the only way you're gonna.
And then, well, there's a lot of people that don't feel like retweeting shit. So there's that. I'll get like one or two
Yeah.
people, and then people will see that shit, be like, and they just keep it moving. So that being said, if that's the case, hmm, Also, too, I know a lot of people kind of hate the fact that I don't really care necessarily, but I just usually like to get an outside view and just how it looks like on the outside. There's like a lot of people don't like the fact that I talk about, uh, I guess, current events, not political, but current events.
Yeah.
And I guess I could just, you know what, I'm not even gonna beat around the bush. There's a lot of situations where, like, I advocate being who I am, like a man. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like we get the shit in the stick a lot of the time. Nobody really appreciates the shit, so I'll say that shit too. So I like to talk to different people and get that shit out there. So I'll probably, you know what I'll do? I'll probably just network instead of just
Yeah.
trying to stream it. You know what I'm saying? I think I'll just network because I mean I'll stream it, but I'm not going to use Twitter to do a space. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's too volatile and shit like that. I have to take a look here. But anyway, thank you so much. I really appreciate you you actually joining in there and taking the time to really kind of put up with my system issues and shit like that.
No, it's all
But
right, man. Anytime.
not a problem. If you ever feel the need to just jump in there, it's probably gonna be on Discord. But yeah.
All
Yep.
right, dude.
All right. You take it easy.
You too, man.
Take care.
You too.